And welcome again to the Bunny Perspective. I love Studio Gainax, and why shouldn't I? Love or hate them, they're one of the most influential Japanese animation studios ever. They produce classic animation like Neon Genesis Evangelion, Nadia of the Blue Water, and Gurren Lagann. They have a style, though they're not as well known as Studio Ghibli, nor as consistent. Even though the shows don't look similar, they often have themes and ideas that are similar. And all their shows have bitchin' soundtracks. And of course, the Gainax ending. Let me explain. Some critics and fans have coined the phrase a Gainax ending, meaning an ending that is both over the top and controversial to the fans. I cannot hope to tackle every Gainax ending complaint, but I am going to talk about one of the more controversial Gainax projects. Before we begin, let me just say that I haven't seen every Gainax series or film, and I can't say everything that they make is amazing. I'm looking at you, Corpse Princess. But the most famous things they have done tend to hold up generally. Sure, fans bitch about the last 2 episodes of Evangelion, and they have complaints about how silly and over-the-top Gurren Lagann can be. Let me state here and now that the reasons I like these shows tend to be different than most fans. For instance, I love the last 2 episodes of Eva, and I like Shinji, who I argue is the most realistic 15-year-old giant robot anime pilot ever. And I don't really like Ahsoka. Well, I like when she goes crazy.
Look at me! Look at me, Mama!
The point I'm making is if I had a top 10 list of my favorite anime, and the #1 spot would be a 4-way tie between Eva, Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly, and Panty and Stocking. You all know why Gurren Lagann and Eva are great, because I've already done 2 episodes on them. As for Fooly Cooly, that is an anime that's so famous and so well done, I don't really need to tell you about it. But the last selection, the recent series by Gainax, Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, is our subject for today.
Way back then it was okay to be a little weird, but all my friends are dead and some have even grown a beard.
Either you love this show or you hate it. Either you like the ending or you got mad. This is a show with no gray area in the fans' opinion. I happen to love it! It's funny, it's got a really cool art direction,
Son of a bitch! You motherfucker!
and it has some really well done animation.
Oh yeah, you motherfucker! You fucking
But what is it? Well, at the core of the anime is a Monster of the Week story format. I think this might be the weakest part about the show, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work, because it works pretty well. So our leads are named Panty and Stocking, and they are angels. And speaking of the look, Panty and Stocking has a distinct style to it. I know it's supposed to remind me of American animation, but it looks a lot more like Dead Leaves to me. And for good reason. Those guys worked on this and Gurren Lagann and moved on to do this series. Dead Leaves is an often forgotten about anime that is basically batshit crazy
More useful than you. You all make me sick.
upon ridiculous.
It's kind of sad. I mean, we just had a baby.
With a whipped topping.
wrong hole!
If you've seen this animation short film, Panty and Stocking makes a lot more sense. I've heard it said that this is Japan's answer to American animation, and that is a little short-sighted. I'll give you that it's Gainax's version of our Powerpuff Girls, but Powerpuff Girls is a version of anime in general. And all anime is inspired by Disney. So what do you fuckers want? Everything animation goes back to Disney.
You motherfucker! Oh yeah, you motherfucker!
I love this show. I'd love it even if it had nothing to do with Gainax. If this was like an Adult Swim show, I would love it all the same. I think the visuals, even with the animation kind of being limited, are slick as shit. I love the look of Panty's panty gun. All right, the story. So in this anime, for some reason, 2 angel sisters fall to Earth and must fight ghosts using their clothes as weapons.
またしても由々しき事態だ。
何？またうんちゴーストでも襲ってきたとか？
Ghosts have a very similar look to them, but run the gamut from a race car and a queen bee to a giant turd and a panty thief. Technically, Panty uses underwear and Stocking uses her stockings.
羽目を外してパーティータイムでオーケーってわけね
And they transform them magically. Stocking uses swords and Panty uses guns.
悔い改めよ
They use this concept very well. Panty is constantly losing her panties, partly because she is a sexual domino, and partly because of the nature of the job.
あそれ私の銃てか私のパンツ
Panty is the more manic and outrageous of the two.
街に飛び出してパーティー&ハンティング
Stocking is the more cynical and even-headed.
ほんとあんたって何でもいいのね
And the pair fight a lot.
その喉塞いで二度と無駄口叩けないようにしてあげる
All of that works really well for me. I like that the two angels are just lazy assholes. But in a lot of ways, the show is really about Panty. Sure, Stocking does shit, but she rarely drives a story. Not saying that she's a bad character, I like her a lot, but there is no question that Panty is the central figure. Especially when you're talking about the even more controversial ending. I know that people and critics might consider Panty a bad character. I mean, she's mean-spirited, selfish, and sexually free.
私の代わりにゴースト退治は任せたぜ
ちょっと
I'm not gonna start slut-shaming here. The lady likes to do it. Is that so wrong?
突撃
But I do have a theory on this. I think Panty is written to be a gritty male lead in a cop action movie, but she is a cute girl. Like, she loves guns, she's a total slob, and she doesn't play by the rules, and she loves to get her sex on. I mean, how is that different from Mel Gibson in any Lethal Weapon movie? Or Jesus Christ, James Bond! I don't think that Panty and Stocking is particularly sexist, but despite this, I cannot say that this is a wholly highbrow show.
おいしそうなバナナ
Among the most clever of these lowbrow jokes involves Panty trying to get a good underwear gun from a bunch of college students. Gun after gun is basically a dick joke without being too obvious. It ends with one of the other regular characters' brief, and his briefs, well, they do this.
わおなんて巨根な銃なの天地の狭間に迷いしこらより
Holy shit, that underpants shotgun is awesome!
持ち主に似て使えねえ早漏な銃だな
How do you not find this at least a little clever? I find it very interesting how they changed styles during what would be an otherwise boring magical girl transformation sequence. It happens once in a while and is meant to be a parody on magical girl anime. Only these two are literally stripping. And just when you think you're going to be able to see the flesh of fallen angels, you get glowing weapons instead. So this is the part where I feel like I need to defend this show a bit. See, apparently a lot of anime fans don't like this show. I've seen a few reviews that dismiss this or go so far as to claim that Gainax is trolling its fans. How can making such a silly idea like this be trolling your audience? But before we go on, if you don't like Panty and Stocking just because it ain't your thing, that's fine. Really, that's not the show's fault, that's your fault. Just don't fucking tell me that it's not a quality production because it most certainly fucking is. Hey, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that they weren't trying. We're not talking about a Happy Madison production here. We're talking about quality production, executed really well. How is that bad?
You motherfucker! Oh yeah, you motherfucker!
So this is where the debate over quality over preference comes in that I've been noticing on the internet lately. You hear this fucking shit every time anyone who hates My Little Pony Friendship is Magic opens their big dumb mouths.
When I was a little filly and the sun was going down. Tell me she's not.
You can't find anything wrong with it, so they basically say, hey, it's for kids and that's why it's bad. They point out that it's not doing anything groundbreaking or telling new stories and completely miss what it does right. They miss why it's important that they made at least one good remake. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that there's absolutely no merit.
Learn to face your fears.
Well, enough of that shit. Let's talk about what I like. There's an episode wherein Stocking falls in love with a gross, misogynistic ghost. It's played for laughs, and then it ends with a little bit of a tender note.
ってお前のことなんて本気で愛しちゃいねえ。
そんなことはない。俺だって。
Plus, it has this awesome song in it. Panty and Stocking does a lot of things right. It does a lot of experimental stuff, like, for instance, the girls become Transformers and battle each other in a perfect recreation of the old school look. There's an episode where Panty and Stocking never leave one room. And there's another one that's animated totally different style, and they're only in it for a few seconds. So don't dismiss this as a stupid, gross-out anime with no point. Think of this as a fun little show. If you don't take it too damn serious, you can really enjoy this show. I think once this gets an English dub and shows up on an Adult Swim, it should get a lot more new people into anime. If you find this show offensive, that's just you. The makers aren't trying to offend, they're trying to have a fun time. I find it funny, you might not. If you never watched this before, I'd say give it a few episodes before you totally give up. You might just be happily surprised.
Anarchy.
Okay, everyone who doesn't want the ending spoiled, turn this off now. So I'm gonna tell you my reaction to the very last few minutes of the series. See, I love the big flashy ending of Panty and Stocking. It's glorious.
Oh my God!
I love that the key is Brief's junk and that Panty needs to make the two-back beast to get her powers back.
Panty. さあ、やり残したことしようぜ。
でも君は。
レッチをなめんな。お前で1000人目だぜ。
But when I mean the ending, I really mean this moment.
天使に対してはどうなんだろうね。
知るかよ。そんなん試してみなきゃ。
This is how the show ends, promising to pick up next season. I love this. This moment is a big middle finger to the fans with a wink. I'd like to see another season if they end up making it. I think this is a good little show, but I could see how it could get old. Oh, one more thing? Yeah, Chuck is a homage to Gurr. Yeah, you're thinking ripoff, but how is that a ripoff? It's just a dumb little beat-up character. And besides, when that thing fucking unzips and goes nuts, it's worth every annoying minute of the dumb character.
Chuck! たまにはあんたも本気出しなさいよ。
キャー
I don't like Chuck much otherwise.